OBS 64 or OBS Studios is the driving force behind any Twitch streamer, Facebook streamer, or YouTube streamer, and to be honest is ahead of the game when it comes to streaming softwares. If you guys are looking for a seamless streaming software, OBS 64 and OBS Studios is the easiest way to go. Today, we're going to be running through a guide for you guys. We're just going to be going over some of the panels, and then we're going to jump into some of the streaming encoder settings to make sure that you guys get a seamless stream every single time. Before we get started, guys, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, tick that notification bell, and as always, if you guys are interested and you guys want to see more content, make sure you guys drop on over at bsugar91, where we get to see the uncensored version of this guy. Yes, if you guys are interested as well, make sure you guys drop on over and see our gaming community, which is the SMG gaming community. We are involved in a bunch of different stuff, from gaming tournaments, gaming community nights, to just supporting the small streamer in the grind. Today, a big shout out to our sponsor as well too. Today we are talking about G2A. They are an amazing space. They have marketed with us and allowed us to market their products. They are a gaming website that allows you to get a bunch of discounts for fair and reasonable prices. Guys, jump to this site if you guys are interested in games that you can afford. Today we're going to be jumping into OBS 64, and OBS 64 has a very scary look to it. It has a lot of different, words and panels and a bunch of buttons to click. But once you understand the layout and you understand each panel that is important to you, you guys will find OBS 64 a dream to work with. Once we go through the panels as well, we are going to step into having a look at some of those encoder settings and understanding what those encoder settings mean and how they can help you improve your stream. Dipping over to OBS, guys, here, as you guys can see, here is the layout of OBS. You can see my big old mug in the thing. Today we're going to start going through the panels as I mentioned before, and on the left hand side we are going to start off with talking about obviously the menu, then we'll feed all the way down. On the left hand side, all you guys can see here is the file, the edit, the view, the profile, scene collection, tools and help. It's pretty straightforward with any sort of PC software stuff. The majority of your tools are going to be set up within that space. Just underneath it, as you guys can see, is the Twitch activity feed. The Twitch activity feed is really, really important. Your Twitch activity feed is like the blood inside your stream. It tells you about bits, subs, raids, and all that kind of stuff. If you guys are looking at the Twitch activity feed, make sure it's up in a good space where you guys can see it, because if you miss a raid or you miss subs or follows being put onto your stream, it can be quite detrimental to the user who is watching you, and you could lose followers or viewers at the same time. Moving on to the next part of this, as you guys can see on the bottom left hand corner here, and I'll circle it with my mouse so you guys can see, we're going to be talking about scenes. Now, scenes are really, really important in a Twitch streamer game. Scenes allow us to create different overlays, as you guys can see on screen at the moment. This is an overlay that allows you to move seamlessly between different overlays. For example, if I were to switch over to just chatting here, as you guys can see, it switches to my big ugly mug and allows for you to see different sort of touch points. On the right hand side, we've got our community video going on, and just on the bottom right hand corner, I usually have like a Google tab open with Twitch other streamers going up so we can throw show report, and this screen is just chatting so we can interact on a different level. Scenes is really, really important, and it allows for you to set up your stream seamlessly and effortlessly to go in between. A really important note to note as well, guys, scenes are able to be connected to a Elgato Stream Deck or a third-party application through, say, your phone or maybe even a tablet like Touch Portal. If you guys are interested, I'll leave a couple of links down below. Make sure you guys check out the differences between the two. If you don't want to spend too much on Elgato, and say for instance you got an old Android phone lying around that you want to utilize, have a look at these two options. You've got Elgato and you've got Touch Portal that you can use to transition between those scenes. Dipping into the next part of the video, you guys can see, and I'll just remove my webcam so you guys can see it properly, is the sources part. Now, if you guys think that scenes are the transitional phase between, say, one overlay to the other, the sources are the the makeup of it, the graphics, the video input, the audio input and output. This is what creates that. This is where you put your graphics, your videos, all that sort of stuff to make your stream look very, very enticing. So in sources, as you guys can see, we've got audio inputs, desktop logos, webcams, you know, my C920 here, the game capture, the display capture, and of course the animated background that I use within my stream. This here can also be controlled by external touchpad, whether that's touchboard, or I do know touchboard because that's what I use. Allows for you to, you know, turn off webcams, all that sort of stuff, and gives you the option to customize that. So if you guys look into it a little bit further and that's what you want for your streams, dive into that and research into touchboard or even Elgato's Stream Deck to see if those buttons can be programmed into, say, the Stream Deck to be able to get them turn on and off or switch off and on. And this can be used very well for, say, if you wanted to go between you know, turning on your webcam like I did and turning it back on to see maybe the whole screen, for example. The next thing we're going to talk about is pretty self-explanatory, is the chat. Now the chat is there for us, obviously, to chat, and this is one of the most important parts of your OBS. If you don't have the chat in a big enough space, you won't be able to catch up with chat, you won't be able to see what's going on. I just suggest that you guys have chat up so you can see what's going on in your guys' stream. Onto the right hand side here, as you guys can see with the stream information, you guys got the title, which you guys can put your title, a catchy title, into that space that will allow you to get the people engaged and onto your space. Going live notification, once again, this has to be catchy as well too. Make sure that you guys are creating a notification that works really, really well on stream, so when people see the notification pop up on Twitch, they're able to go, I know who that person is, and they're able to come to your stream or be more encouraged to come to your stream. As you guys can see down here too, as I scroll down, we've got the game title, Splitgate. We can go in here, we can choose any sort of game, and as you guys can see, it pops up automatically too as well. Rotating down here too as well, you got the audience. I'm not going to worry about the audience right now. Tags are pretty straightforward and simple. If you guys go down here, this tags work like hashtags or anything like that. So you put more hashtags in there. When people come in and use that search engine, they're able to engage with you. When Twitch, I don't know how the search algorithm goes, which is garbage if I'm being completely honest with you. They're able to say type in painting. They've got a tab here that says painting. It comes up with that tag and it gets more people into your stream. After everything's sort of dialed in, you guys can check the stream language depending on which space in the country or in the world that you are. And then you're just going to hit this done button and it's done and done. Moving over to the controls on the right hand side there, as you guys can see, the control panel is up and running. Start streaming, stop recording. Obviously I'm recording at the moment, as you guys can see on screen. And we scroll down, start virtual camera. I've never really noticed what start virtual camera is, something that I haven't actually used in this, and I sort of disregard it in my personal opinion. Studio mode we'll come to very shortly. Settings, it's pretty straightforward. This goes into the general settings that we're going to be going into when we start to figure out the best encoding settings for our stream. And obviously there's exit obviously exits out the program. Seems pretty straightforward and simple. Before we leave this little panel though, first I want to talk to you guys about studio mode, which is right here. And as you guys can see, it brings up a view on two different types of views. Now this studio mode is really, really important to, if you're in the middle of a stream and you want to get something sorted on this space, say for example I want to do something within my just chatting screen, as you guys can see it's changed there, I'm able to create a transition that is smooth and I can edit this however I want so it's not affecting what people see that is live on the right hand side. And this is really, really important to create a, say for example you're trying to set something up and you're being, you know, a little bit evasive that it hasn't been set up properly and you want to get it to come over seamlessly so people don't notice that it took you 10 years just to put that on screen. This is kind of what this is all about, is to get everything prepared, and when you're done, hit that transition over and everything transitions over perfectly. Another one thing to recognize too as well, just in the middle here within studio mode, you guys get your transitions. Within transitions, you guys are able to go into here and you guys can duplicate scenes, duplicate sources, and you guys can choose the different settings for transitions. Now, if you are tech savvy enough, you are able to go through and add in mods to create a different sort of motion or a different sort of effect on stream. If you guys are wanting to do that, I can do a video on that a little later that's a little bit more advanced, but you can create mods to create the motion effect that you guys can see in my stream right now when I go in between the scenes. Transitioning back over, the last little tab that I want to talk about is the audio mixer. Yes, the audio mixer is absolutely incredible. This is where all your sound comes through, and this can be controlled by an Elgato system. This can be controlled by an external mixer. If you can find one that is third party, please by all means use it. The audio mixer is really important to your sound levels. If you've got desktop up too high, or if you've got Discord in the background and that's booming too high, you can control them all in here. If you add an Elgato Stream Deck, it's all at the tip of your fingers, and you guys are able to easily control the Stream Deck outside here instead of having to go in and click. Audio mixer, pretty straightforward. It is just your audio, where your audio comes in and out, and where you guys can sort of control that audio back and forward. All right, let's jump into the general settings tabs, where you guys can see where the encoders are and what some of the things I use for Twitch and what I recommend for you guys out there if you guys are creating your encoders or setting up your encoders for your streaming experience. Moving into the settings, as you guys can see, we are met with the general tab. I'm not going to go through all of this because a lot of the stuff here is, in my personal opinion, not really useful to you as a streamer. A lot of these tabs on stream a lot of these tabs in the settings don't really mean nothing, so you can disregard a lot of it. If we move over to stream here, as you guys can see, this is where you get your Twitch account added in, obviously where your service, so you're streaming on anything else, like Facebook Live, if you're doing Twitter or all the other stuff, or if you've got Restream IO, that's all there as well too. You guys can do that. Highly recommend not to use the stream key, but connect via your Twitch account. When you guys first start up, and I'll get a picture up there for you guys will see this when you first start to connect with OBS, and that is the screen that you want to enter in your Twitch details and log in. Video. This is the base canvas resolution. If you are a streamer and you have a high-end computer and you are able to run a 1080p stream, please do so. If you are running on a lower-end computer, you can still run the base canvas resolution at 1080p, but ensure that the scaled resolution is shooting out at 720p, because it does obviously hurt the performance of your computer and makes it harder to stream on. Hotkeys in advance, we're not even going to worry about right now. We'll leave that out of the way. Let's just get to our output. Yes, the encoders, 120%. The encoders are very important. This is the lifeblood to your stream. If you guys are starting to stream, encoders is going to either make a really good stream or a really crappy stream, and you guys need to understand that encoders are everything. If you don't set this up properly, you're going to have fuzz, you could have artifacting, you could have stutters all the way through. So if this is not set up, you're going to have less of an experience. Let's start up here with the Twitch preset. Now in here, you guys can go in here and choose what you want to record on. I always suggest that people go with Twitch streaming. Now, if you want to go high quality recording, you guys can. Indistinguishable recording, that's fine. Near lossless recording, that's cool too as well. But Twitch streaming just has everything there, from compression all the way to, your basic settings that is needed for Twitch. So if you're a Twitch streamer, make sure you use that. If you're using anything else like YouTube streaming, make sure you use that. And honestly, if you're using Facebook, I suggest you use YouTube streaming or Twitch streaming. It does not really matter. Moving on to the next part, quality preset. Now this is the quality of which your stream is going to present at. Speed has the highest speed and the worst quality. Quality has the highest quality, of course, and balance gives you a mixture of two. Now the reason why I run balance is because my PC at the moment runs with a mid-level sort of CPU, and my graphics card is very high end. So in order to make sure that everything is smooth, I keep it on balance so that I don't get too much variance in my stream encoders and destroy the experience for the user. If I scroll down here too as well, just really briefly, profile is on main and profile level is automatic. We don't need to worry about that. Coding type as well is automatic. Maximum frame reference, we don't worry about that. We leave it at 4. Pre-pass mode, I never turn pre-pass mode on. Pre-pass mode does improve the bitrate, but because currently I'm running at a bitrate that is close to 500 plus megabits per second. I even get a gigabyte up and down sometimes too as well, where I am in the world. So this doesn't really help me and can destroy some of my quality. So if you have a higher rate in terms of a higher sort of download upload speed, you're fine. If you have a lower download upload speed, this is going to help the performance or the bitrate within your stream. Target bitrate you guys will get used to, and I'll show you quickly now my internet speed and why I've set to 6,000, because 6,000 is really the standard. I wouldn't really go any higher than 6,000 for target bitrate anyone across the world, because then you don't really see much of a difference in your quality. We're going to come on down here. We're going to look at frame skipping. This stays disabled. Frame skipping allows the encoder to skip frames in order to meet target bitrate requirements. When the encoder skips a frame and it instead inserts a repeat last frame NAL into the stream, it can help with very low target bitrate requirements. If you have a poor internet connection and you guys want to enable that, that's absolutely fine. Frame skipping will allow for a, maybe less of a stutter, but the biggest issue that we have with frame skipping is you're going to get a lot of jitters, a lot of bumps, and that is going to cause a lot of issues. So make sure you guys understand what frame skipping is. Make sure you guys get in there and test that setting out, and then hopefully if it works out for you, you guys are able to turn it on or turn it off if you don't like it. VBAQ, I never have this on. This doesn't do anything for my bitrate. There's no point in having it on. Enabling this may lead to improvements in subject quality with certain content. I've never ever turned this setting on, and I've tried it, and it's very, very minimal difference between what you see on screen when it's on and off. So I really just don't bother about this. Enforce HRD, I don't actually know what this setting does, sorry to say, but I leave it enabled because it comes enabled turned on, and when I actually turned it off, I found that the streams sort of just didn't behave 100%. So I left this on enable. If you guys have any comments about that particular setting, make sure you guys leave it down in the comments below. High motion quality boost, interesting. Now I've tried to enable this, but I've just left it at default. Now I haven't really seen much in the difference of the high motion quality boost, and basically that's what it is. It just improves the quality when there is a lot of motion in space, and I've disabled it, and in some cases it does look worse. So make sure you guys keep this up on and going. VBV buffer, always leave this set to automatic. Okay, this is really, really simple. Automatic collects the size using a strictness constraint. Manual allows user control, which is down here with the VBV buffer strictness and all that sort of stuff. Personally, you shouldn't have to touch these settings. This is not something you should be worried about. This doesn't change the quality of your stream. Leave them as is. Moving on down, we're going to skip deblocking filter because there's no real issue. This is set by default, and to be honest, I've played around with this and it doesn't really do much to my stream. This here tells us what encoder it's using at the moment, and on your graphics card you guys will see it's Direct 3D11. AMD Ryzen 6700 XT, as you guys can see, that is my graphics card. And if for some reason you have a different video adapter, you guys can go in here and pick and choose which video adapter you want to use. The next thing I really want to talk about is the OpenCL conversions. Now, the reason why I've put the conversion on and the transfer on is because there's something with an AMD system, or AMD's sort of framework, that really struggles when encoding any sort of stream. And when we turn on OpenCL transfer and OpenCL conversion, we see a heck of a lot smoother stream overall with the encoding, etc. OpenCL transfer and conversion are both enabled. This setting will ensure that workloads being processed by the GPU is run through OpenCL instead of direct compute. Direct compute is a little bit more intensive and can cause a lot of stutters, a lot of grains, or can rub up against some of the other processes within your guys' computers. While direct compute should have a better, faster output, it's subject to a lot of variances, and that's kind of what I'm trying to say here with you guys. You guys have to be very careful about the setting. and having it run on default without OpenCL. OpenCL is a lot easier to sort of implicate into this GPU, and it's something that I really highly recommend when working through this stuff. Same with OpenCL conversion. Converts the frame on the GPU using OpenCL instead of direct compute. Play around with the setting though. I've had different sort of feedback from people saying that yes it's good, yes it's not, and I'm yet to find out whether it is 100% true that this is the number one thing that changes quality of stream as well as smoothness of stream, or if it's just a big bloody myth and we've completely led you in the wrong direction. But I like it. It looks good, and it works with my stream and makes it run real smooth. Multi-threading disabled. Yeah, well, this is up to you guys. If you have a really intense computer at home, say for example you've got the 5800 XT, make sure you guys drop on over in the multi-threading and turn it on. Now this uses the CPU to handle more packets and pull more in, but if you've got a slower system, it can drain a lot of your resources, causing low FPS in games and all that other stuff. Don't worry about queue size, that just set to 8 and that never really changes. And as you guys can see, there you guys have all the setting presets. Guys, I hope that helped you with the encoding today. I hope that helped you with your Twitch adventure moving into OBS 64. I highly recommend this program. And just before we go, if you guys are running this program, make sure you guys set this program in properties, which you guys will see right here, to admin to run. When it's running an admin, it bypasses all the Windows protocols, all the Windows background processes, and allows OBS 64 to be the main process on your computer, which means a smooth stream, which means a seamless sort of experience for your guys viewers, and it creates a better experience just overall. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me in the stream today. A little bit of an overview for OBS 64, and if you guys are running an AMD graphics cards, that's the encoders in there for you guys. A bit of a long video, but thank you guys for staying in there and sticking in there with me. If you guys are interested and you guys need to know anything else, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, tick that notification bell. Also, if you guys are wanting to learn a little bit more, comment down about some of the features that you want to get to know, and I'll get a video out to you guys as soon as possible. I just want to do a big thank you guys for the support that you guys have given me, to the community and everything else. Be safe in this time, team. Keep on streaming, keep grinding, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.